it's Tonya Tko here, and I'm around the corner from my normal filming location here because the wind was so strong over there, and it's been raining today, which I'm really happy about because, you know what? No. I'm not going to go off into a tangent. I actually took notes. Today we're going to be talking about Vagina Care 101. I'm going to be talking to my little sisters in this video, and it's a little odd for me to make this video because, you know, I figure that most of this stuff is common knowledge, but you know, I put up the video about STDs the day before yesterday, and a young lady wrote to me on Facebook asking me to please talk about ways to care for your vagina. Now listen, it is not up to me to judge. If there's information out there that people need, oh, I don't care. Whatever it is, I'm going to give that information, whether it seems common knowledge to me or not. So I'm going to be big sister Tonya Tko, and I'm going to talk to the young ladies today. Oh, before I get started, let me show you guys my outfit. I'm wearing yellow today. I just love wearing yellow. Doesn't it just suit me? Anyway, look. Oh, remember when I was in Antigua and I had on that green dress and I said I brought 3 like it? I brought a red one. Oh, no. What am I saying red for? Red is my favorite color though, as you can see from my page and my website and everything. See how I be going off on tangents? Anyway, listen. I bought a black one, a green one, and this yellow one, and I love it. Just look. Isn't that lovely? I don't know what it is, but I just love sundresses. But anyway, let's get into the topic of today. I took some notes because I'm gonna 1 minute 50 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna stay on track today. All right. First, I wanted to address the men because yes, this video is for women only, and sometimes, you know, when I make videos geared towards the ladies, the men get a little upset and they're like, oh, why don't you tell us this, that, and the other for men, blah, blah, blah. Well, number one, I don't know how to care for a penis. Well, you know what? I'm about to get up into another tangent. Okay. I don't know how a man should care for his penis. I just know you have to wash it, stuff like that. You have to ask some of your brothers for tips on that one. I'm going to talk to the ladies. But you know what? One thing that I can say for the men, right? And this can go for ladies too, is anus care. You know, because, you know, I remember when I was growing up, my mother used to be like, oh, these, you know, some of these young boys out here don't even know how to wipe their ass correctly and this, that, and the other, and then she'd go off onto her tirade, right? But, ooh, that was not a joke. There are some people out there who don't know how to wash their buttocks properly, right? So this is one thing, because you know what, ooh, like some of these guys out there, some of these younger boys, and even some of these older men, or I hope by the time they get old enough, they know what they're doing. But some of these guys, you don't want to be unfortunate enough to have to tie your shoes on the escalator behind them. Because I'm telling you, ooh, one day, I was in New York, I was on the escalator, and I had to tie the laces up on my sandal, and I bent down. And I was like confronted by something assaulting my nostrils. And when I looked up, there was some baggy pant young man in front of me, and I was like, ooh, never again. Listen, if you drop a quarter or you drop $1, leave it. If your shoe is untied, you wait. You know what? Okay, you know what? I'm going too far. Okay, let me go back on track. Well, before I get to the video about vagina care, let's talk about anal care for a moment, right? Let me go off into one quick tangent. When I was in Kuwait, let me just tell you this. You know, a lot of Americans feel that we are at the optimal place of healthcare and hygiene and all of this water and all of this other stuff, right? But, you know, people in other countries are laughing at us here in America. When, and let me just give you this example, right? Let's say there was some feces on the ground and you picked it up with your hand, right? I don't know why you'd be picking it up. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. You had a pooper scooper, whatever. You picked it up with your hand, right? Now, you were going to clean your hand one of 2 ways. Which way do you think it would be cleaner? If you took some paper and wiped the feces off of your hand, or if you rinsed your hand in water and then wiped it with tissue. Which one do you think would be cleaner? I mean, I know we need soap to kill bacteria and all of that, but if you had to choose between those two, I'm sure you would choose the water option as the cleaner option. And I say that to bring this point to hand. When I was in Kuwait, they have bidets. Do you know what a bidet is? Because you know they have the ablutions and all of that stuff that they do in Kuwait, you know, before they pray and all of that washing, libations. I can't recall what it's called. But their toilets have bidets, which is a little spout that shoots water out, right? And it shoots it up onto your rectal area. And for the women, you know, you can slide back a little bit and get it in your other region too, and then you can wipe around. And I say that because, you know, if you think about your anus, you know, you use the bathroom, you got duty all between your booty and everything, and you wipe with the paper, and, you know, there could be lots of particles still. I mean, we know that there are microscopic particles left behind and all of that other stuff, right? So what I'm going to suggest, this first part of the video, men and women, boys and girls, they get some baby wipes. They have these things in the drugstore, these flushable wipes, Cottonelle, Charmin, they all have them. You can use that to wipe around your region. Then pat it with your tissue. You can wipe again with the regular dry tissue and pat it. Make sure it's dry. You never want to leave the area in between there moist or wet, because that's a breeding ground for bacteria. So so that's my portion to the men. Let's get right into the video for the women. How long have I been talking? You see how that's been 6 minutes already? Golly. I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible. All right, well, the vagina. The vagina is the area inside of the body, right? The vulva are the parts that exist on the outside. And what I suggest for some of you girls is to really get a mirror and look at yourself down there. Just look, hold the mirror down there and see what you look like. At the top, there's the clitoris. Then, you know, if the clitoris is enfolded, just take a look at it. The urethra is down there, that's where the pee comes out, and then you have the vaginal canal. So just take a look, you know, your vagina is not ugly. You may, if you don't know what it looks like, I mean, how many of you, even some of you grown women, how many of you women out there would be able to name your vagina in a lineup? If there was a vagina lineup, how many of you can identify your own vagina? So go take a look at your vagina. Isn't it a funny word? And then my New York accent, vagina. Anyway, so listen, take a look at your vagina. See what it looks like. When I was young, I read this book that even told me to see what it tastes like. And I did. You know, I was 11 or 12 or something, and I tasted my own vagina. And at this point in my life, I'm very comfortable and very familiar with my vagina. I know what I like, I know how to please me, I know how to communicate that to a partner. But that's not what this video was about. Let me get back on point. Oh goodness, 2 more minutes past. All right. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ. So first and foremost, I'm going to start off this video with the age-old debate, to douche or not to douche. And I am going to say, based on my readings, on my research and my consultation with medical professionals, that the answer is not. Do not douche. The vagina has a natural balance of good bacteria in it, and it regulates itself. When you douche, you knock everything out of proportion. And then some of those fragrant douches, you do not want to put fragrances in there anyway. But when you douche, you knock the body's natural way out of proportion, and then you can really wreak havoc in that area. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ. What you will see is you will see some discharge. Your discharge is going to change throughout the month. Like when you're ovulating, your discharge may be thicker, more mucal during that time, but your discharge should be white or a slight cream or yellowish kind of color. If your discharge is green or brown or clumpy and odorous or anything like that, you probably have some sort of infection, and you need to go get that looked at, because your discharge is not supposed to have a foul scent. You know, if you become familiar with your vagina when it's in its natural state, if you become familiar with what you smell like naturally, what you taste like, you can be able to gauge whether or not there are differences that are happening down there. So please, ladies, girls, is this too bright? Become familiar. Let me darken this just a little bit. Become familiar with your vagina. There we go. All right. Then number 2, we're going to talk about cotton. The vagina has to breathe. Areas that are wet, like for example, I do not wear underarm deodorant. I read in school years ago, let the truck pass. I read in school years ago about what makes underarms smell bad. You know, when the urea and all that stuff gets trapped underneath there and then it starts to ferment and all that other stuff and a foul odor, you know, ensues. I personally, I'll talk about that in another video, but I wanted to, why I don't and how I don't smell. I wash very regularly and I make sure that I drink a lot of water and I eat a lot of natural foods. That way I do not need to wear deodorant. I bathe daily, and if I sweat and I need to get rid of that sweat, I bathe more than once a day. So let's bring this home to the vagina. Your vagina will not smell if you keep it able to breathe. Your vagina needs to breathe. And the way that you can have your vagina and help your vagina breathe, number 1, do not wear tight pants every day. Let the pum pum breathe. Ooh. Let your pum pum woosah. Okay? That's too much, I know. Don't wear tight pants every day. Another thing, thongs. You don't want to creep and cramp up your nanny with some string thongs, smashing up between your area over there, slicing up between your butt cheeks and everything. You don't want to do that every day. Switch it up. Switch it up. I know thongs is the latest craze or everything, but you know, I mean, it serves a purpose to be able to, you know, cut out panty lines, but at what detriment? You know, and of course, when I do need to avoid panty lines, I wear thongs. But for the most part, if you don't have to avoid panty lines, put on a full covered brief. And speaking of briefs, you want to make sure that your underwears are cotton. Now, you know, when you're little, you know, you had your cotton panties or whatever, but there are ways that you can look cute in panties with cotton. You know what? And I have some samples for you guys. I brought them. Hold on. I got some samples for you all. Because you don't have to be, you can be cute and en vogue, you know, with cotton underwear. Like these are from Victoria's Secrets, and as you see, these are really cute. They have a little 80 on the back. I thought that said 69 in the camera. I'm about to say, wait a minute, I don't need a 69 on my panties. But anyway, that's another story. But you see that you can have the boy cut shorts. Here's another variety. I know these are BADs, right? I don't care, but they fit nicely. Anyway, they have lots of cute white underwear. Are the best because they don't have colors. You know, and these are some, I do wear thongs, but they do have, I get cotton thongs. You make sure that you do not get nylon and unnatural fabrics. See, this is a thong right here. I make sure that I get something that's wide enough in the back not to cut and irritate my nether region back there. And I do buy synthetic fabric like this right here. I get them, pink has, what is this made out of? This is 100% nylon, but I don't wear these every day. I make sure I don't keep these on all day long, and these are mesh. If you can see, they're completely see-through, so you can best believe that there's lots of breathing going on in there. And I have another pair of mesh. One thing that I wanted to say is that you make sure that you get, and you know what, to you manufacturers who are making these nude colors, because this is nude color, this is not nude on me, I'm black, okay? And I was surprised because when I was traveling, I saw this white girl getting dressed, and she put like on this nude colored bra, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, it blended in with her skin, and I was like, oh, that's why they call it nude. I thought that was just the name of a color, because I was like, this thing ain't never looked nude on me. But then, oh, see my tangents. So you can't have cute underwear that are made out of all cotton. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're washing your undergarments in wool light. You don't want to use harsh chemicals on there, because you know what, those things stay inside the fabric. You want to use softer, gentler things on there. Speaking of softer and gentler, you do not want to put soap inside your vagina. Let me see if that's on my list, where that is on the list. Okay, that was next. Anyway, you don't want to put soap inside your vagina. What I do is, you know, Summer's Eve is known for their douche, but Summer's Eve also has a feminine hygiene wash. So you can you can purchase, it's blue, it comes in and it has like antibacterials in there and stuff like that. You use that. I use my hand to wash myself because you know your area down there is very sensitive, so you don't want to scrub and scrape, you don't want to put anything harsh in there, you want to be very gentle with it. Wash in between the folds, get yourself some of that Summer's Eve. And this is what I personally use. If I ever find anything better than that, you know, you can also use non-soap soaps, gentle cleansers, but I like the Summer's Eve because it has the antimicrobials in there that helps kill bacteria, helps you stay fresh all day long. So you want to put some of that on your hand, and you want to wash the area, you want to clean in between the folds and around the lips, and you want to, just on the outside, clean around in the anus area too, but you want to make sure if you're ever going to touch your anus that you do not retouch your vagina. That goes for sex too. If there's any man who wants to do some anal play on you, do not let him bring that finger back towards your vagina, right? So now let's talk about ways to, speaking of anus and keeping the vagina, I brought some toilet paper for you guys because if I'm going to give a tutorial, I'm going to give the whole tutorial. We're going to talk about how to wipe at this moment, okay? Now I know this may be elementary for some of you, but for some of you, it's not. You're going to take off enough tissue to be able to clean your area, right? And you're going to wipe down. You are not going to pull up because you know the anus and the vaginal opening are very close to one another, and what you don't want to do is you do not want to slide fecal matter up into your vagina because that is a recipe for an infection. You want to make sure that you wipe downward. You wipe down. As you're sitting on the toilet, you open wide enough to be able to wipe down. And if you defecate at that time, you want to make sure that you're wiping from behind, that you wipe. You know, I just got to look at myself in the camera. I know I look foolish, but I'm going to say this anyway. I don't care. You want to wipe up. Okay? You want to wipe up. And if you defecate and you urinate at the same time, and let's say this is the purpose of wiping down. You wipe down, you get that stuff pushed down, and then you come around from behind and you wipe up. And you keep wiping up, you change out the tissue, and you wipe up again. It's really nice if you have baby wipes, because if you have baby wipes, it makes the process a lot easier, right? And you don't want to be harsh. You rub there with the baby wipe, and then you get your dry tissue. I don't like Charmin because Charmin breaks apart. You make sure that you get a tissue that does not break, and you wipe up. You wipe up, and you keep changing out the tissue, looking at it again and again until the tissue comes up clean, you know, and then you know that you've wiped properly, you know, because if you don't, you can get an itching sensation through there. You have to do the booty dance, you know, you're tugging and all of that. No, we don't want to do that. Clean properly the first time. Clean properly the first time. Okay, what else? Did I say that you don't want to put anything scented near your vagina? This includes scented tampons. You definitely never want to use scented tampons. You don't want to use scented liners, scented maxi pads. You want to keep all these abnormal fragrances away from your vaginal area. Your vagina is so sensitive, it's like a flower. You have to keep it protected, especially from these harsh chemicals and all of this other stuff. Stay away. Me personally, I do not use tampons. Before I did this video, I did a little bit of research on the net, and one of the sites that I went to was like, use tampons instead of maxi pads. First of all, tampons are bleached. So the chemicals that they use to bleach, that you do not want that leaching into your skin, especially from a soft mucal membrane area like the inside of your vagina, which is very absorptive. You know how you put the patch on your skin and all that stuff, all the chemicals to get inside there, the same way that chemicals leach into your body from certain things. And tampons are not supposed to be white. I don't know. They feel that making these products white, you know, increases the look, that it's pure and clean and all this other stuff, but I do not stick tampons inside there. And when I did, I noticed that I bled more. And then I did some research, and people were saying that these tampons have asbestos in it, which makes you bleed more, so that you use more tampons and all this other stuff. I don't know if that's true, but I don't put it past them. I don't stick that up inside my body. not my queenly body. No, 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 no. So if I can get some people out there to stop using tampons, because you know, reading on the box about that TSS, toxic shock syndrome, first of all, you can't leave a tampon in too long anyway. You can't sleep in it overnight. You can't do this, you can't do that. I know that there's some times where tampons are necessary, like if you're doing some sort of sporting activity, blah, 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 but I do not. I don't participate in tampons. Let's see. Panty liners. You know, some ladies, like I said, your discharge changes at different times during the month. You know, after your period, you can get slight spotting inside of your discharge, or even 14 days in, because when we're ovulating, a menstrual cycle lasts between 24, 28 days, something like that. In the middle of your menstrual cycle, you're going to be ovulating. Some people, as the egg is breaking out of the ovum, a little bit of blood comes down, so you can have a little bit of spotting. So some people like to wear panty liners. Do not get scented panty liners. I support panty liners because, you know, if your flow is not heavy enough to warrant using an entire maxi pad, use a panty liner, let some air get in between there and all of that. Another thing that I wanted to say is stay away from all these fancy sprays. All these products that they create to try to make you feel self-conscious about your vagina. This stuff is perpetuating the problem. It's like you put on these sprays, and then before you know it, you need these sprays because you've thrown off the natural balance of your body. So don't use these sprays. Someone that I spoke with was saying that powder is not good for your vaginal area. Neither is, and then I was reading on the internet today that neither is talc. I don't know. I might need some of you to do some research on that one. I'm not going to put it near my vagina anymore. Anus is a different story, but vagina, I think, is, I don't know. I got to do some more research on that one. So let me see how long I've been talking. 21 minutes. Let me get out of here. I hope that this video has been helpful to some people. Please remember, keep your vagina clean and dry after you get out of the shower. Remember, you're going to wash it very gently with your hands. After you get out of the shower, you're going to pat your vagina dry with a towel. Just pat it dry. Make sure that you don't want to tear anything. You don't want any microscopic tears. That's no good. That's no good. Just pat it. Pat it. Be gentle with it. Pat, pat, pat. Pat the back. Pat, pat, pat. Okay, so listen, anyway, this is Big Sister Tonya Tko. Today's video has been Vagina Care 101. I'm going to sum this up and then wrap it up. Somebody wrote to me on Facebook today and said, that's a loud engine, isn't it? Somebody wrote to me on Facebook today and said that they wanted me to talk about orgasms. If you guys, listen, follow me on Twitter. Friend me on Facebook. If there's ever a topic that you want me to bring up and talk about, I'm here. Listen, this is what I do. I'm a vlogger and I'm here to help because, you know, my mother passed away when I was 19 and right now I'm 33. So I've spent a great portion of my adolescence into my womanhood without a mother figure. A lot of things I had to figure out on my own. So if there's anything that I can help you ladies do or help you young men or anything with, write to me. Write to me and ask me to do a video on it, and I'll be sure to try. What else did I want to say? I wanted to say one last thing before I go. Oh, and it's about disease, because I did my last video on disease, and I wanted to just cap off this video with just a reiteration of something. Remember, these diseases, these bacteria, these viruses, they're just looking for a way in. And remember, even you don't have to be able to see it. This stuff happens microscopically. So, you know, while you're shaving, or you could get tiny little cuts down there, then you let somebody whose gums might be bleeding go down on you, and vice versa. You know, and you can bring yourself into contact with virus, a bacteria, a disease that way. It's just looking for a way in. People can get herpes in their eyes. And you know what, one last thing, to shave or not to shave. Some people say that you should not shave, that you need the hair around there to be able to hold out bacteria and all that other stuff, but I'm not going to give you any advice on that because you all know from my Frenchie videos how Frenchie prefers to be. So that's just me. You do however you do for your area. All of the other stuff is my opinion as well. So make sure you look into anything before you take it to heart, before you start practicing. Look into it yourself. Do your research on tampons. Do your research on what type of detergent to use. Do your research on what types of soaps you should or should not have in your vagina. Also do your research on the talc versus powder. Cornstarch, yes, cornstarch is what I heard is better for the vagina, but I don't even know about that. I don't know for sure. Oh gosh, 24 minutes. Oh, let me get out of here. So listen, I love you guys, all my little sisters out there, all my little brothers out there. I love you guys very much. Let me give you a hug. This is the TonyaTko. If you have any questions, come to my website, TonyaTko.com. Remember, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe to my videos, and I'll talk to you later. Let me give you a hug. Bye. I love you all. Peace.